What's up, Overwatch fam? My name is Master Nightshade, and I needed to address something that goes on in the Overwatch community. Flats' tier list is wrong. For you. Okay? Time and time again, I see him do it. He makes his tier lists, and his tier lists are correct. Okay? His tier lists are, if J3 and if the Overwatch pros are playing these characters, it is absolutely correct, and the top 500 is correct. But when you're in bronze, it is not correct. Okay, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to make a tier list today for bronze players, for casual players, for people that don't know what every single character does, for regular Joes. And the story behind this is I'm a average platinum player. I've climbed to diamond a couple times, but I hate being in diamond because I have to. Well, when I did climb in a diamond, Ana was meta, and I'm pretty good with Ana, but that's all I could play. I just had to play Ana every game, day in and day out. And I like to swap it up a little bit and play a little bit differently, and I don't like to try hard constantly. I play after work, and I just play to have fun, and I don't want to sweat trying to play the game. So I let it fall to where I think I about belong, which is about Platinum 3. Sometimes I get up to Platinum 2, Platinum 1. And sometimes I drop to Plat 4 and Plat 5. Anyways, and the big reason why I wanted to address this is my son, who's 9 years old, also plays Overwatch. And we play together and we have a blast. He loves this game. He builds the Legos. And he plays in bronze. Bronze 5, bottom of the barrel. And he loves the game. He has a blast, but he is just not good. And this most recent tier list was right after the DPS passive. Flats came out with a tier list, and in the tier list it said Zenyatta is OP and Mercy is garbage. My son plays Mercy and Bastion. Mercy and Bastion. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, his mom's birthday, Jesus' birthday. Not to quote Cat Williams, but Mercy and Bastion, that's what he plays. And the amount of times he was getting flamed by Bronze 5 players who were playing with a 9-year-old saying, Mercy is garbage, you need to play Zenyatta. You don't want my son playing Zenyatta. First of all, my son doesn't understand hit scan versus projectile. Okay, he thinks everybody aims like Bastion, so with Zenyatta, he's aiming like Bastion. And obviously, most of you will know, that doesn't work. Okay? He should not be playing Bastion. He doesn't understand that he can change his heal orb every few seconds and move it onto different people and be healing different people at a different time. He doesn't have the response time for his ult. He doesn't hear a Zarya ult and pop his ult right away. You know, he doesn't know how to play Zenyatta, but these people are flaming him and saying, you need to be playing Zenyatta. And no. Okay? If you're in bronze, let people don't tell people what to play. Okay? Now, if they're throwing with Genji, then maybe you could gently nudge them into a different direction or something like that. But, hold on. I think I messed up Nope, I didn't. You could gently nudge them, but you're going to learn from this tier list. Basically, this is going to be a tier list of skill floors. Okay? It's not going to be how good each hero is, because Flats is right on if every hero is played perfectly, which ones come out on top. But he's playing with everybody playing at their hero cap, at their hero ceiling, the best players in the world. This is going to be a tier list of hero floors, and if you're new to the game, or if you don't know the game too well, this is going to be a good place for you to start. If you accidentally, or if you do fill all the time, and you usually play healer, but once in a while you get dropped into DPS, and you don't really know what to do with DPS, I'm going to pick some DPS. There's going to be some DPS S tiers, there's going to be some tank S tiers, and these are the ones that you could just drop into your hero pool. You should learn these guys first, and they will get you to gold. Okay? And another caveat, every single hero can be one-tricked to gold. Every single one. There's not a single one. Scanning through these, there's not a single one that if you get good enough will not get you to gold. In fact, if you get good enough, you'll get to gold pretty easily, because all gold is you've learned the basic mechanics and the basic ins and out of a team fight. Once you get to plat and diamond, that's where little intricacies. Plat, I think, is where you have to start outplaying your counterpart. You have to start taking duels and beating your counterpart. You know, you can't just rely on your team as a healer. You have to beat the DPS that try to kill you. And then Diamond is where the real skills start to check in, and that Diamond's where you get separated from the greats, from the people that are good at the game. And then Masters and up is obviously probably, I have no opinion on Masters and up because I don't know what it's like to be up there. So we're going to get started on this. I'm going to make a tier list. It's basically going to be a skill floor tier list that is just going to give you a quick rundown, and it's not going to change much. No matter what the meta is, until they release a new hero, no matter what the meta is, the skill floors of the heroes stay the same unless they get reworked. Okay? So we're going to start right off the bat with Orisa. As you can see, we got tanks first, we got DPS second, we got healers third. We're going to start right off the bat with Orisa. Right up there in S tier. She's survivable. She's just cannot move. And something I cannot stress more, and something you have to take into account in bronze and silver, is the skills of your teammates. Orisa is where Orisa is. Always. She's not Wrecking Ball over here, and Diva over there, and over here, and Doomfist over here, and your healers get lost very easily. Orisa is right in front of you all the time. Your healers will not lose you. If they're not getting dove, they can heal you, okay? And so she's easy to heal. She's easy for your team to heal and to rally around. And then her kit is just useful. You just spin and you fortify, and then you spin and you fortify, and you just don't do them at the same time, you know? And you spin, you fortify, spin, you fortify, and you're just unkillable. She's just a workhorse. It's Orisa, so she's a horse. And she's just in the front line, and she is straight up probably the best tank you should play. Winston is one why I want to make this tier list too, because back in season 2 or season 3, Flat said Winston is S tier. Winston's the best. Not in bronze. You are not the best on Winston. Okay, you are not going to get the value on Winston as you would on Orisa or some of the other tanks. In bronze, Winston is, I can't put him in F tier, but he's D tier because his shield is his shield, and being dove by a Winston is difficult for bronze supports. So if you do get on the supports, you can find your value. But as far as just contesting the point, being a heal bot for your healers, if you don't have a Zenyatta, if you don't have an Ana, somebody that can heal you from a long distance away when you jump in, you should definitely not be playing Winston. His skill floor is high. You need the ins and the outs, intricacies. You need to know when to dive in, when to dive out, when to use your shields. He's got a very high skill floor. He can find some initial value with a lower skill floor because he can just put his bubble around his own healers, but that's about it. So he's going to be very low tier. All right, Diva, we're gonna put her in C tier. Just the fact that nobody will dodge your bombs and you'll get 4K, 5K bombs once a game, and 2, being able to mitigate entire ultimates. All you have to do with Diva is listen for that Reaper ult, listen for that Pharah ult, listen for the Soldier ult. Please, please, please listen for the Soldier ult. I don't know how many times Soldier ults and Diva's over here doing God knows what, and Soldier's just wiping the entire team when we got a Diva on our team. If you don't have any defense matrix, still dive him, get right in his face, make him use his entire ult on you. Your healers can heal you up. If you die, you got 2 lives. You turn into mini Diva. You can take up a lot more of his ult than anybody else can. So please, if you're going to play Diva, you have to dive soldiers who ult. Sigma. Now, Sigma has the value to be S tier. The problem is he's difficult to play. You have to manage his shields. You can't be leaving his shields behind. So I'm going to put him in B tier. Just because he's so difficult. A little tip with Sigma is, especially in bronze, say you're on Rialto and they're pushing in on the first point on the where you're by the well or the fountain, and they're across the little bridge and stuff like that, and a soldier pops up in that little window there. Throw your shield in front of him. Almost instantly, I guarantee he will start to run somewhere else. You can pull your shield back right away. You can literally just whoop, whoop, and pull it back right away because he will run away right away. You don't have to leave it there. Okay? You use your shield to just dissuade people from being in a position and pull it back and put it somewhere else and pull it back and put it somewhere else. Okay? He's very difficult to pilot, and he's easy to run up on. If they get in close to you and you don't have your suck, he's pretty easy to overrun. But if you keep them at a distance with your rocks and just his consistent damage, he definitely could be S tier, but he does not have he has a higher skill floor. Roadhog. Now, Roadhog is a tough one because in bronze, there will be people out of position all the time. Their healers will go in front of their tank. Their DPS will be in weird, silly positions, and you can find your hooks. You can hook people left and right. The problem is you're in bronze, and you're gonna miss. Okay. If you're landing your hooks, he can absolutely just carry you straight to gold. If you're landing your hooks and you're just pulling people out of position and killing them, he's straight up S tier. He'll get you straight to gold. But if you're missing your hooks, you're a giant meat bag that's just feeding them ult. Like, literally his only defense is to take more damage so he can heal. And so if you're missing your hooks, he just doesn't do it. So I think I'm gonna put him here with D.Va. Yeah, because Winston doesn't have the kill potential that Roadhog does, his own carry potential. So I'm going to put him right here with D.Va. Roadhog can carry himself straight to gold easy. Winston needs a little bit more team play. Obviously, if you get good with Winston, and please, everybody who is a main of these characters, this is not a portrayal, please, especially if you're gold or higher. This is not a portrayal of where the character should rank. If you want to see where the characters are ranked in the current meta, watch Flats's list. That's literally what his is. What this is for new people, and I've said this already, so I'm not going to repeat myself again. All right, Ramatra. Ramatra is also difficult to play. I'm going to put him in A tier because once you get the he's a little slower than Sigma. You don't need to manage his shield. It comes up every 12 seconds or something like that, and you put it up. Once you figure out his rotation, he's a little bit easier to get in the groove of. And then he's harder to get into his face as Sigma. Where Sigma, if somebody runs up on you, you're kind of stuck. You pop melee, pop melee, pop melee, and that's all you got. Ramatra, you go into is it Nemesis form? You go into Nemesis form and start punching things. Like, who doesn't want to do that? And you just start whacking them in the head, so they don't want to run up to you. So he's stronger. So he's gonna be a little bit above Sigma. But just his skill floor again is just up there. Okay. Junker Queen, probably F tier. Even in gold and platinum, Junker Queen players do not get the value out of Junker Queen that she can give. But more than that, your healers and your DPS don't know how to play with the Junker Queen. They don't hear that shout armor and know that means to go in. They're not used to having a tiny body in front of them and realize that that's a tank that they can follow. And she's intimidating, yes, and she's fun. She's super fun if you're good with her. But just the team aspect and you having bronze skills and your healers having bronze skills and not knowing when to go in and stuff, she just screams diamond players. Like I think it takes you getting to diamond before you start seeing Junker Queens that are actually getting the Junker Queen value that she deserves. I'm not saying she's a bad character. I know she's not necessarily meta right now, but in order to play her as successful as some of these other tanks, you need to do a lot of work. So we're going to put her, she's going to be our F tier tank. Mauga is right around here somewhere. He's so simple. Who doesn't want 2 giant miniguns? I think I'm going to put him right in front of Roadhog right here. Who doesn't want 2 giant miniguns and just shoot their tank all day. Light things on fire and shoot it. Shoot. Who doesn't want to do that? If you can avoid trying to jump into a Bastion or the Reaper or something like that and just getting mowed down, and you can manage your, I guess it's a shout type thing. Yeah, he's a solid, just a brute force, easy to see for your healers. And he's very simple, and his ult is game changing. You know, if you don't die in your own ult, which you shouldn't if you're using it correctly and your healers are doing their job. The only thing is he's also a meat shield, just like Roadhog. He just soaks up damage. You have to aim a little bit, so he doesn't have the staying power of Orisa. All right, Reinhardt. And this is going to be one that's strange for people because Flats would always put Reinhardt, real low. You know what? Reinhardt, second best tank in the game in bronze. There's nothing better for your bronze healers than a giant shield in front of them just walking forward. We're going that way. This is the front of our team, and we're going to come and walk over your team. Reinhardt is just the, okay, we're going that way button. Your bronze comrades will just follow you. Now, if you're just charging in and you're getting killed, that doesn't mean that you need to just swap off. You need to stop using that charge button. Charge is a mid to late fight ability or cheeky ability. But you walk forward, you get as far forward as you can, you take as much damage as you can, you get off to the side, let your shield charge up, and your healers will see that shield go down, and they'll start ducking and hiding and stuff like that. Well, hopefully. And then when your shield charges back up, you walk forward some more, you take some more space, and as soon as you get on them and their tank gets sick of you walking towards them and they say, hey, I'm not going to move anymore, you start whacking heads. And you just start swinging away. And then when all chaos breaks loose, that's when you go for a pin and you just try to pin a Mercy or a Lucio, somebody that's buzzing around you like a fly. You just pin them. Okay, Reinhardt, straight up, could be S tier, but he takes more skill and he doesn't have the staying power. He takes more, I shouldn't say it takes more skill than Orisa, but takes more patience than Orisa. You cannot just charge in. He's so boring. He's very boring if you play him in this playstyle, but it'll work. Doomfist, because of his skill floor, I'm going to put him in F tier, because of his skill floor. Doomfist, great character. He's meta in most tiers, but you're a bronze. And if you practice up on Doomfist, he'll get you out of bronze in a few sessions. If you get real good with Doomfist, because bronze people do not know what to do when a Doomfist comes slamming in, punches everybody into a wall, and punches out. And then slams in, punches everybody into a wall, and punches out. And that's the biggest thing with Doomfist, is GTFO. Like, there's so many Doomfists that go in and they punch this way and then they slam over here and they punch that way and they slam over here and get out. Do your disruption. If you are still at full health, then maybe stay for another rotation, but slam in, punch somebody into a wall, slam out or punch out. Go back to your healers. Let your healers get that ult charge of healing you back up. Do it again. And then after a while, one of those will turn into a kill or multi-kills. But with that being said, you need to practice. You need to get 100 hours on Doomfist or more, and then you will start to find the value that Doomfist has, and he will easily get you to gold. But if you don't main tank, if you play healer for the most part, don't try to play Doomfist. Don't go into a game and go, oh, wow, I got tank this game. Okay, I'm going to play Doomfist. Don't do it. Play Orisa, play Reinhardt, play Ramattra. Okay? Wrecking Ball. Same thing as Doomfist, but with less upside. Even in the higher tiers, it's very hard to carry with Wrecking Ball. Doomfist can get multi-kills and disrupt multiple people with his punches, punching them into walls and pop, 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 pop. He can get multi-kills. Wrecking Ball, yeah, he can get big slams, and he can be very, very annoying. You know, I watch Chasm. Chasm makes me want to play Wrecking Ball all the time, but then I just realized that slamming in and going and killing a Zenyatta will not win you the team fight. You know, even especially in bronze, your team, you're up, they're down their Zenyatta, you're up 1. Your team doesn't know because they're dealing with the Tracer in the back line, and they're still standing over by spawn. Meanwhile, you've got 3 people on you, and they can't get past the Tracer. So Wrecking Ball just does not get the value that Doomfist does. Zarya. Zarya has a very good team-wiping ult. I'm going to put her here with Winston. I'm going to put Winston in before, but if you can get charged up, and the one recommendation I give to Zarya players is be greedy with your bubbles. Use them on yourself. 90% of the time. The only time you should be bubbling somebody else is if Mercy's going for a res, Genji's going for a blade, something obvious that needs to be protected. But if not, then you walk into their face, you take a little bit of damage, you pop your bubble, you're in bronze, so they're going to keep shooting you. You take that damage and pop your bubble again, and then GTFO, go hide somewhere, get healed up, wait for bubbles to come back. And if you just get good at that rotation, you can carry with Zarya. The problem with Zarya is she's so immobile. There's so much mobility right now. Everybody can run and dash and blink and hide and flash and all these different, I don't know why I said hide, but all these different things. And she just kind of stays in one place, and she doesn't have the staying power of Orisa. So yeah, this is, I'm liking how this looks. We'll see. This might change up towards the end when I see how everything else plays out. We might even it out a little bit, but for the tanks right now, I think I like how this is looking. And so we're going to go into the DPS, starting off with Bastion. S tier. Straight up. Like, bronze people do not know to wait out your sentry mode. Yeah, you might as well be in sentry mode 24/7 according to them. And they don't know what to do with that amount of damage. The tanks don't know how to mitigate it. They don't know how to peek corners and just wait it out and stuff like that. He just makes things dead just so easily. There's not much intricacy to his kit, especially if they're playing a meat shield tank like Roadhog or Sigma. They're not playing the Divas or the Sigmas who can absorb his large amounts of damage, or Orissa's. So yeah, he's straight up just S tier. And the other thing is your healers know where you are. You're not off flanking like a Tracer would be. Your healers, you're right here next to him while the Reinhardt's in front of him. That is an easy heal job. That is easy to do. And I think that's something that so many people don't think about enough is how difficult. I'm a healer main, so maybe I'm a little bit biased, but some people pick these super complex, crazy team comps and then complain about not getting heals. Like they're playing Doomfist, Tracer, Doomfist, Tracer, and Lucio, and I don't know, Reaper or something, and they're expecting a main healer to heal them all, and I pick Baptiste, and I'm trying to run with them and stuff, but they're way out over there running everywhere, and I'm lobbing grenades everywhere, but I can't lob a grenade this way and that way at the same time. Anyways, I'm gonna try not to digress too much, but that's something you need to think about is, wow, our team is very difficult to heal. And that's when Zenyatta is very nice, because Zenyatta can heal all over the place, but then you got to protect your Zenyatta. And nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to come back and save the Zenyatta when he's getting dove. No way, can't do that. All right, back to the tier list. Widowmaker. Don't do it. Don't. You're in bronze. You're in bronze. You're in order to get the value with Widowmaker that you need to get in bronze, because getting one pick is not going to win you a team fight. It's not going to. Your team doesn't see that one pick and go, okay, forward. Like, that'll start to happen in gold. You get that one Zenyatta pick, and your team will just go, okay, we can go forward now. But in bronze, your team, they'll still be fighting with the Tracer in the background instead of just running by her, and you need to get 2-3 picks every team fight, not just a round or a game. every team fight you need to get 2 or 3 picks, and you're not going to do that. Not if you're in bronze. And I'm sorry, bronze people. I hope you don't hate me for this or something like that. It's just, you got to think about it like her skill ceiling is so high, probably one of the highest, because it's literally all aim. So if like everybody else with high skill ceilings has a little bit more with technical abilities, like tracers and doomfists and stuff like that. Hers is she's very simple. She's a very simple technically, but it's all aim. So just don't do it. Pharah has a very high skill ceiling. You gotta learn. First of all, you won't get any heals. And even if you do get that mercy, she's probably gonna get distracted. She has a very high skill ceiling. You have to figure out how to get your damage in at odd angles. You have to use your mobility. If you're standing in with your team and shooting rockets in, you might as well be playing Junkrat. Okay, he does better splash damage, and he's safer with his concussive blast and his traps and stuff like that. He's just more utility-wise. I can't say she's F tier, because if they don't have a hit scan, if they don't have somebody that can take you out of the air, she can be very disruptive and very distracting. But she's probably going to go in the bottom of D tier. All right, Tracer. Also D tier. And I can hear the comments and people screaming, this is skill floor. Tracer is all skill. Her skill floor is probably plat. Where in plat is where you start to see people utilizing Tracer how she should be getting utilized. You need to be one-clipping people. Like literally just and they're dead. Because you can with most. Actually, with new HP, I'm not sure how that all goes. Like I've said, I play healer. I'm a Lucio main. But you need to be getting lots of damage in there. You need to be making their heads spin. And she might move up. I don't know if I want to keep her here. She might move to the top of D, maybe even in C. But she's so difficult to learn. And is it worth the time? Yes, she's probably the best character. Maybe her and Sojourn are probably the best DPSs in the game in top 500. But you're not top 500. Echo is a better Pharah. Echo's a better Pharah. So now that I'm looking at this, I definitely think Tracer's going to move up because she is not down here with Echo. We're going to definitely get some people in between them, but we'll see. So Echo is a better Pharah. If you want to play a flyer, play Echo. Her ult, being able to have 2 tanks in front of your team is just like it's insane how good that can be. And so pressing your ult button on their tank and just winning a team fight because you have 2 tanks and they have 1 is just good. Second, you fly in, you drop in, you triple grenade them, and you laser beam and you make somebody dead. Not that like Widowmaker, you make that one person dead and you have to re-aim and recalibrate and hopefully get another person dead. Echo can make one person dead and she can continue the fight and go and do a bunch of damage to the tank and go and she can fly back out and hit another one. She has more all-around value besides just her one shot, but she still can one-shot people. Junkrat. Going to be our first A tier. In fact, I think... no. I don't think I can put it with Bastion. Going to be our first A tier, and this is going to be another screamer. Everyone says Junkrat is garbage on their tier lists. Flats and all these guys will say Junkrat is garbage. Not in bronze. Not in bronze, where they just walk through the choke and get blown up and walk through the choke again and get blown up again. Walk through the choke again and get blown up again. He has a disengage. Somebody tries to dive you. You throw your concussion blast. You blow yourself away. Take whatever 75 HP from them. He has traps that they will just walk into. Nobody sees the traps. You can put it right in the middle of the thing with a sign sticking up saying there's a trap here, and they will walk into it. He's just really good. The only reason why he's not S tier is he can't make tanks dead as well as Bastion can. He needs to be spamming out the squishy people. Now that's not to say that you blasting a Mauga in the head isn't going to kill him, but he just not as quickly as a Bastion will. couple seasons ago, I would have definitely probably had her up here just because of how disruptive she is. I can't put her all the way down because putting a wall to block off a sightline for a bronze healer is like, they just panic. There's a wall where they usually every single time they play Route 66, they come around the train right out the spawn. There's the train that goes up diagonal, what crashed or whatever, and they come out and they sit right here and they play Anna and they shoot down the sightline. There's a wall there. Now what do? My whole game is ruined because somebody put a wall up. She has this bronze disruption that just brings value innately. And she has a get out of jail free card, but you can go to almost dead and then you can turn into an ice block. She's super safe. She's a little bit difficult to play, and she can't kill things as well as other DPS. And that's where she's going to fall off. If you one-trick Mei, not that you could one-trick Mei all the way to Diamond probably, but after, I would think it would be probably about Diamond is where you need to start swapping off. But it's because of her damage. She's kind of just struggling on the damage. Yes, she has the headshots that can dink people to death, but, you might as well be playing Hanzo at that point. Soldier 76. I'm going to put him in front of Ramatra on A tier. If you want to play hit scan, there's a few hit scans here. Ashe, Cassidy, Kree, Soldier, Baptiste. If you want to play a hit scan, well, Baptiste is a healer, but if you want to play hit scan, Soldier's your boy. I guess Bastion is also hit scan, but Soldier is your boy. You don't have to rely on your healers. You have your own health pack. You have when they dive you either just run away or you put your health pack down and you fight them. If you're coming from Fortnite, if you're coming from any other game, Soldier's going to be the easiest to adjust to. Just play Soldier, and you will just be self-sufficient. That's the biggest thing about Soldier is you do not have to rely on your healers whatsoever. Well, you do a little bit, obviously you don't have infinite health packs, but you can go off and flank, and once you use your health pack, you come running back to your team. He's a definite A tier. Can't put him above Reinhardt just because of the value Reinhardt brings. So, but as far as just a brute force in the front of your team. Ashe. For how simple Ashe's kit is, it is insane the intricacies that Ashe has. Not only do you need to learn your Dynamite Bang ability, which if you play Ashe, you know what I'm talking about, but you need to learn Dynamite Bang. If you know what I'm saying, like you need to throw it out there and you need to aim it and blow it up where you need to blow it up, and you need to have the range down, and you need to hit the shot. I think she's the second best after Soldier because Bob is so good. Bronzes don't know what to do with Bob. Annas don't sleep it. Sombras don't hack it. Bob is just so good. So Bob is very, very strong. Her and Tracer, I'm already looking. I think I'm going to do it just right now. We're going to put them in C tier. Because they're definitely playable. And her aim is much more important than Soldier. Soldier can kind of pepper people and just make them look at you. If they're looking at you, they're not looking at their tank and healing. They're not looking at your healers and trying to kill them. If you're just peppering people and making sure, and then when somebody gets low, you hit them with a rocket. You can really carry with a Soldier. Ashe needs to hit her headshots. Every single shot needs to get value, and it can't be on the tank. One thing happened, this was back in Overwatch 1, back when you could group up with people and stuff like that. They had that group up thing. I can't remember what it was called. I got paired with this kid that was looking for coaching, and he was looking for coaching from somebody that was platinum or higher, and I just randomly, I was like, what the hell, let's do it. And he was in bronze, and he sent me some VODs, some replay codes saying he's constantly got the most damage on his teams, but he cannot get out of bronze. And he's like, I don't understand. It's got to be my team, right? But I don't want to be one of those people that's just saying it's my team. And the first thing I noticed in his VODs, I don't know why I did this, but in his VODs was he was just bang. He was playing Ashe, and he was just bang, 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 bang into their tank constantly, and the tank wasn't dying. And I was like, bro, you're literally just feeding their healers ult charge. stop shooting the tank. Take 2 shots at a healer that land is better than 15 shots on a tank that land. And a little light bulb went on, and he played for a couple more games, and he started to take his time and aim at the healers instead of aiming at the tank all the time, and he got into gold. And we actually duoed a few times after that. And he was a good player. He had like Fortnite skills. He was naturally better at the game than I was as far as mechanics went, but I just had the knowledge and the know-how and I just needed to get that to him. Stop shooting the tank. You're just giving their healers alt charge and you're not getting any value. And so his damage went down. His damage amounts went down. He stopped having 10,000 damage per game. He started having 4,000, but he started having 12 kills, and before he had 10,000 damage, but he had 12 kills or 8 kills or something. So anyways, I don't know why I digressed into that. I should have a clipboard or something, some sort of thing to keep me on track. But Ashe, you got to play her like a Widowmaker. You got to look for those shots, but she's a more valuable Widowmaker. She just can do more in the mid fight, and Bob is just so much more useful. That's another thing about Widowmaker is your team doesn't know how to use, unless there's a Sombra on the other team, that your team doesn't utilize Widowmaker's ult. Anyways, I continue. Torbjorn. S tier. Straight up S tier. So everyone, if you had like a grading scale that, how much value you are getting at this current time, and you need to keep your value, if at the beginning of the team fight, you're getting like a 2 or a 3, you're not doing too much, you're maybe distracting them a little bit, and then it would go up to a 5 or 6 or maybe a 10 because you got to pick on somebody or something like that, and then it would come back down, Him having his turret down, and nobody can aim in bronze, and him having his turret down, just blanking people, instantly puts your value at like a 3. And so anything you do after that, any damage you do as Torbjorn, just moves up from a 3. And so his turret just gives you a auto aim thing that drives bronze nuts. Soldiers don't realize they can missile it and a couple of shots and get rid of the turret. Don't sit there and hammer your turret, and move your turret. That's another thing about Torb players. Move your turret around. Don't leave it in one spot the entire fight. If they get team wiped and they go, okay, they know where the turret was, and then the next time they come around the corner expecting the turret to be over there, but it's over there. It's just the wrenches and the gears just, and then everything breaks and you team wipe them again. Okay, Torb is S tier, not quite Bastion just because he doesn't have the kill potential of killing tanks like Bastion does, but literally his skill floor, his turret is better than most bronzes. So any value that you bring with your own damage and your own damage is going to be valuable. And his ult is better than Bastion. So, Reaper, I think I'm gonna put in the B tier. The only reason why he's definitely like a counterpart to Soldier. Super easy to play. Get out of jail free card. Don't fade in. Please. Don't fade in. The reason why he can't go as high as Soldier is he is a little bit map dependent, and there's some team comps you don't want to play him into, or some team comps you don't want to play him with. He's kind of a little bit dependent on your team. If you're playing like a Death Ball, Ramatra is a good example, but I was thinking Mauga and Mei and Lucio, and then Reaper's going to be great. But if you're playing Sigma and Hanzo and Ana, then unless you're just completely wiping their team and one versus 5, 1 versus 4ing them as Reaper, you probably want to switch to somebody that has a little bit more range, somebody that can sit back and utilize Sigma's shield. So he's a little bit more. You don't want to play him all the time, but he's still simple, low skill floor. And yeah, so we're going to keep him in the B tier, and he's just a tank buster. He just mows down Maugas and Roadhogs. So, Hanzo. Obviously, he's better than Widowmaker because it's so much easier for you to just get that one-shot dink damage. I think I'm gonna put him. Put him. No, I think I'm gonna put him. Yeah, I think I like it here. I'm gonna put him towards the top of C tier. Not quite better than Diva, but better than the rest of these, just because spamming sight lines, bronzes don't know how to avoid that sight line. And you just get those random headshots. He does so much damage to a fat Mauga or a fat Roadhog. Just plop, plop, plop. I don't know how many arrows he shoots. 5 or 6 arrows, and he just shoots them all right into Mauga's belly. He does get so much damage. His dragon is a little bit useless. You can be cheeky with it and stuff like that. Zarya ults, obviously, but that's a tale as old as time. The reason, and he has so high of damage, but if you're going in to contest a point, if it's like overtime and you're trying to contest a point, if you're Bastion, you just go turret mode and you've got 3 kills. If you don't have those sightlines, he has a very awkward projectile shot. And yes, you can plink, plink, plink. You can do the same thing, but it takes a lot more skill to do it with Hanzo than it does with Bastion. So as far as his skill floor is much higher than Bastion's, but he has that value of just this random sight line. So you cannot put him down here with these guys because he can get 2 headshots in one volley, Not that happens very often, but yeah, he just has so much damage just aiming down a sight line, especially on the long sight lines stages. Sojourn. This is one, she's probably number 1. She's probably the best DPS on a lot of people's lists. But in bronze, yeah, I think I'm going to put her here. Here. I think I'm going to put her there. Her entire kit is based on your aim, and you have to switch your aim from projectile to hit scan. Like, even her ult, you have to be able to aim. I don't know what it's called, but her wavy thing, her thing, that grenade thing that closes off things. In higher elos, there's a specific time you can put that down, and it absolutely just ruins what they were trying to do. In lower elos, with all the chaos that's going on, you kind of just throw it out there and hope for the best. And yes, if you want to climb to Diamond tomorrow, start playing Sojourn, because she will get you to Diamond. She just has so much consistent damage. About the only thing that Soldier has on her is his ability to heal himself. But you having to switch from a projectile to a one-shot is just difficult. Her skill floor is very high. Her skill floor is probably gold to plat. McCree. Don't do it. Don't play McCree. If you're in bronze, you can't aim. And he needs to be able to aim. His ult is probably the laughing stock of Overwatch. Oh, I called him McCree. Cassidy. Oh my goodness. Okay. Cassidy. His ult is probably the laughing stock of Overwatch. His magnetic grenade can be useful for the pesky tracers and stuff like that. But other than that, if you're getting some value by shooting a Mauga or a Roadhog in the belly. Interrupting a Doomfist, if there's a Doomfist just running amok, you can probably switch to McCree. That'd be a time that I would accept a McCree. If Doomfist is just running amok everywhere, or even a Wrecking Ball, a McCree throwing a magnetic grenade on him to make him hold still for a little while would be nice. So, but other than that, McCree is just probably the worst hit scan besides Widowmaker, the worst hit scan in the game. Symmetra, she gonna go right here with Reaper. She's one that if you're not getting any value outside of her, she can go down real quick. She's pretty squishy. If they're killing your turrets, but you're in bronze and they're not killing turrets. They're not killing the turrets. They don't know what's zapping them. They just see this blue light and they're just like, I'm going to the light. You can get lots of value with Symmetra, obviously, and you might hopefully you know this, but she's very map dependent. On wide open maps where you can't get value out of her turrets, you don't want to be playing Symmetra. But on especially King of the Hill maps, you can get lots of value with Symmetra. So I'm gonna put her right in B tier because she could totally be S tier if you're on the right map, and she could be F tier if you're on the wrong map. Sombra, and this is another one. I'm gonna put her right below Tracer. This is another one that's considered top of the meta, S tier right now, I believe. But time and time again, I watch my DPS and I rewatch all my games just to see what I did wrong and stuff like that, and I see, okay, what was Sombra doing at this time? And this is in Platinum, mind you. She's standing off to the side watching while the entire team fight is happening. It's a 4v5 in there, and Spectator Sombra is horrible. And so Spectator Sombra could go in F tier, and then you're in Bronze, so that's probably what's going to happen more than not. But the pesky fly, the one that's constantly trying to assassinate the Mercy or the Moira, S tier. If you're getting that kill, especially S tier. So because of the deviance of what Sombra can provide, I think I got to put her right in here. I think Tracer's just a little more consistent. And their skill floors, both of them, their skill floors are so high that if you're not a DPS player and you're not practiced up on these and you're just picking them up for the first time, especially Sombra, where you're like, hoo-hoo, I'm invisible, and you end up just watching the game from the sidelines. Yeah, she could definitely be F tier, but I'm going to put her in C tier because of the value she can bring. Genji, F tier. Don't play Genji. He doesn't do enough damage. His blades, everyone runs from his blades. If you're good at Genji, he farms bronzes. He absolutely farms them. So if you want to practice up on Genji and then use him to get you out of bronze, sure. But he's not going to get you very far. He just does not have enough damage, especially with the new DPS passive where you can just take one bullet from a Sombra or one bullet from a Tracer from 20 miles away, and all of a sudden you're getting 15% less healing. Genji does not have the spam ability to be a top-notch DPS, so I do not recommend even trying to play him. And he's too difficult. He's too hard. His skill floor is very high, and even when you start to hit his skill floor in about plat to diamond or somewhere, and you start to see where Genji's topping out, other DPS like Sojourns and Tracers just bring so much more value with the new DPS passive, with them being able to just spam bullets in there, and Genji can't do that. So he's just bad. And then not to mention his blade doesn't kill anything. You pop blade and they pop Zenyatta, and if you're not nanoed, you're just going to stand there with a big old melee weapon. So just don't play Genji. It's too hard to get his value. Obviously, I know he's one of the most beloved characters in the game, and he's super fun and stuff like that. But right now, as the meta goes, it's all about applying that DPS passive with their DPS characters. And these guys do it. Junkrat, it would be probably the caveat here. Junkrat's going to fall off real quick, probably in about high silver, gold-ish. Junkrat will stop getting his value because they'll stop walking through those sight lines. They'll start avoiding your traps. So he's going to fall off real quick. But everyone else, he gets these, and that's why these guys are higher than as far as their skill floor goes, because they can literally just spam from a distance and get that DPS passive going. So, that's how we're looking so far. Our C tier and our B tier, we're looking a little, maybe we'll move D.Va up to B tier. We'll see how we look here with healers. Iliari. I can't remember who said it. It was Flats, or one of the guys said Iliari is like the hit scan Moira. And if you're in bronze, you can't aim. With that being said, her pylon is real nice. You don't have to worry about healing. I'm gonna put her right ahead of Ashe in C tier. Once her pylon gets destroyed, which in bronze everybody wants to destroy that pylon, or nobody wants to. But once the pylon gets destroyed, there's not a lot that she brings. And then also, don't spam your bullets. How many times I've seen in my son's games where the ELR is going pew, 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 shooting as fast as her gun can shoot. You're doing like 5 damage per shot, even with headshots. But if you wait and take your time and let every single shot, you're going to be two-tapping people. You're going to get kills. She does lots of damage, but you cannot be spamming those shots. You have to be mobile with your pylon. Put it over here. Move it over there. You know, I'm thinking of Eichenwald right now. You come around that first corner. You put it. There's a big like a round thing around the first corner of the wall. You put it right there. Once you know that your team can get past that wall, you throw it up in the corner right by the bridge. You know, on your side of the bridge, so they can't shoot it from over there. As soon as your team moves forward again, you throw it up on the pillar thing in the center. You know, it has like a 4-second, 5-second cooldown. You can move it 4 or 5 seconds. If it gets destroyed, it has like a 12-second cooldown. You don't want to put it anywhere where it's going to get destroyed, but you can move it around all the time. You don't have to leave it in one spot. So kind of like a Sigma type thing with his shield. Don't forget it and just leave it somewhere. Move it around. Lifeweaver. Lifeweaver is going to have the same problem as Mercy. I'm going to put him down here. I'm going to put him here. He's going to have the same problem as Mercy. Healing bronze players will not get you out of bronze. You have to make people dead. You have to create your own value, create your own carry potential. Now, if your team is better than the other team, then yes, healing bronze players will win you games, but you're just throwing crapshoot. You're just hoping that your 4 players are better than their 5. You know, so yeah, he's gonna have the same problem as Mercy. Healing bronze players will not get you out of bronze. That's just kind of the fact of life. Ana would totally be up here, straight up, but right now she's pretty weak. Her skill floor is so high. I cannot put her. I think I'm gonna put her. You know what? We're gonna put her in B tier. And you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna move Diva up here. We're gonna bolster the B tier here a little bit. We're gonna put Ana right at the bottom of B tier. Yes, her anti-nade got a little bit of a poot on with the new DPS passive, but it's still huge. And it's when they turn purple, it's a green light for your team. Even in bronze, they see purple and they just shoot that guy. You know, I wish it lasted a little bit longer, or I wish she did a little bit more damage. She has a very high skill floor. You have to be able to aim to shoot your teammates and aim to shoot the enemy. But she just brings so much value with that anti-nade. And being like the first one that was ever added to the game, I think everybody knows how to play Ana. So her aim mechanics aren't really a deterrent anymore for her. Whereas like Iliari it is. Like people are still going pew 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 with Iliari. Ana, people know how to play Ana. So if you're good with Ana, you know, and she can carry you far. I don't think she's as bad as a lot of people think she is. It does suck that you can't 2-tap people or 3-tap people anymore. She just, her damage doesn't seem to be there anymore. But she still has very high healing potential, anti-nade, and the one thing people don't talk about with Ana is your buff nade. You hitting your team with the positive effects of the anti-nade. Literally just like they can go from like a 600 HP Reinhardt, you hit him with the heal nade and you pump 2 shots into him and he's full health again, like in seconds. You know, so that's a mechanic that people do not talk about enough. So I'm gonna put her up there in B tier. Mercy, like I said, is gonna struggle with the same problem as Lifeweaver. The thing with Mercy is, I think I'm gonna put her at the bottom of C. The thing with Mercy is she has a unique playstyle that people get used to real quick. And she's hard to kill. And everybody wants to kill you, so you're very distracting. Watching a Mercy fly across the screen, everyone's going to stop doing the damage to the person they were shooting at, and they're going to shoot at the Mercy, but they're going to miss because they're in bronze. So she's very distracting, so I think she gets more value than Lifeweaver. And if you're not going for silly reses, her res is just busted. Her bringing somebody back from the dead, is just busted, especially on defense, where they would have had to walk a long distance. On offense, it's a little bit less so because if you were coming right out of spawn and you used an entire 30-second cooldown to bring somebody back when it would have taken them 7 seconds to respawn and walk 20 feet, was it worth it? I don't know. If it was clutch, it was worth it, but anyhow, Zenyatta. I'm not going to put him in F tier. I'm going to put him in the bottom of D. You're not good with him. You're not good with Zenyatta. He's everybody wants to kill him. Everybody wants to dive him. Everyone's going to dive him constantly. You can spam sightlines. I'm not going to put him this low. I'm going to put him above Lifeweaver. His ult, although it is good, most of the time, from what I see, most of the time, bronzes use it to save their own life. They get dove by a Genji in not even they're not even contesting point. Like if you're playing, what's it called, where the 3 different points and you gotta get to the new game mode or whatever. You capture a point, you're on your way to the other point, and you get dove by a Genji, and Zenyatta pops his ult to save his own life. And it's like, dude, just let the Genji kill you. Go to spawn and walk, and you would have kept your ult and kept it for the team fight. He basically gave you a free ride halfway across the map. Anyways, you're not good. You're not good. And Zenyatta's very high skill floor. So, yes, he was meta. He got nerfed, but he was the strongest DPS. But he's got a strange projectile, and you have to know what's going on you 360 degrees at all times, So, Lucio. I'm not going to put him in S tier. Lucio, we're going to put him right behind Reinhardt. And now that I'm looking at this, I think I'm going to pull Junkrat back. Lucio, okay? First of all, Lucio, because I'm about to piss you Lucio mains off. I'm a Lucio main, and okay, just take what I'm saying. Just remember, we're talking to bronzes here, okay? Put them on heals and exist. That's all you got to do. In bronze fights, nobody's one-shotting people. Unless there's like Roadhogs. Nobody's getting one-shot. It's all little dink damage. Dink, 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 dink. And your team having regen is just going to out-sustain the other team. And you pump it up once in a while. Now, with that being said, I'm a Lucio main, and I understand the values of speed boost and how Lucio has to kind of play like a little bit more like an assassin once in a while, and he needs to fight with tracers and keep people away from his main healer and stuff like that. I know. But in bronze, if you don't play any other healers, grab Lucio, put him on heals, and just pump it up off cooldown, or pump it up as soon as your team takes some damage. And your team just regenning that any dink damage that comes in is just going to out-sustain the other team. It's just too strong. It's just too strong just because nobody's, getting Sojourn one-shotted in bronze, And I know I'm talking, every single game is unique and things happen and stuff like that, but you will be amazed at the amount of value you can get from Lucio just being around with his heals on. And later on, and he has a very high skill ceiling. As you climb, as you get to silver, by doing that, you'll start to realize, oh, my Ramatra is now in Nemesis form trying to punch people, but they're running away from him. Put it on speed boost. Let's go. And you'll become the attack dog of your tank. That's what Lucio, that's how I like to imagine myself when I play Lucio. I'm the attack dog of the tank. I'm sitting right next to our tank. I love playing with Reinhardts and I love playing with Ramatras because when they put it on Nemesis mode, I put speed boost on and we go. And anything that tries to get away from him, I bounce off the wall and I get behind him. I boop him into my Ramatra and he pounds him into the floor. But until you get those down, put it on heals and keep that number on 4. The little number that tells you how many people there are around you. Keep that on 4 as much as you can and just exist and your team will just out-sustain. Kiriko. She's also going to be up here, I think, in A tier. I think I'll put her right here. Her heals are so easy. her heals. It's just so easy to just sit in the corner and you can just heal and heal and heal and heal all day. And then her skill ceiling just goes up. You're going to start to figure out how to be over here and bink, bink, bink. As soon as they start to try to dive on you, you got to turn, you blink away, and that's what drives people nuts. Her Suzu, obviously you're going to use it to heal yourself. And after a while, you'll start to figure out how to time it to stop diva bombs. And you're going to learn how to time it to stop Junkrat tires. And you're just like Lucio, you're only going to go up. These are the two that I would recommend playing to climb if you want to make a long journey as a support. Because you can play in a very safe, easy way in bronze, and then as your skills develop, it will only climb further. Baptiste. I'll put him right behind Sigma. Baptiste, straight up, if you have the aim, if you coming from Fortnite, if you have the aim, Baptiste is your boy. Get out of jail free card, two get out of jail free cards. Jumping up and down is gonna keep you safe. It's just awareness. Ana kind of sits way in back and sees the whole field as a whole. And so her. Not that you don't need as much of awareness, but Baptiste, you're kind of in the middle of the fight and you're bouncing and you need to be shooting over here and shooting over there and healing over here and healing over there, and so he's a little bit difficult to get his value because spamming heal grenades from a distance is only gonna get you so far. But if you can aim, if you have that hit scan, he's the one to carry you out of bronze. He's going to solo. He literally is a Soldier 76. You can just solo an entire team fight. If you want to just solo carry yourself out of bronze, play Baptiste. He has that skill there. Brig. Yeah. Brig is good. The thing is everybody wants to play Brig like a Reinhardt, and you can't do that. You really need to be good with the whip shot, keep your aura going, and you need to stay back and throw the free health packs. You get 3 free health packs that you can just throw to people, and you get a new one every 5 seconds or something like that, and just throw them at people and land your whip shot and throw them at people, and then punish anybody that tries to dive you, a Tracer or a Genji or a Reaper or something. Use up your shield when Reaper comes at you, sidestep and stuff to try to mitigate his damage, but also your shield can. I keep bumping this button on the back. Your shield can absorb a lot of his damage, and then as soon as he's reloading, you whack whip shot. If you didn't whip shot him already, and yeah, she can be very, very good. The problem is to play her correctly, it's kind of boring. And her team, it's hard for your team will complain if they're not getting any heals because they're not staying close to you. So I really can't put her. Now I'm looking at this. Actually, I don't think I like her below Winston. I think I'm put her there. All right. And for number 1, as far as the healers go, Moira is going to go in the S tier. Just easy value. Easy value. You literally just fart, spin in a circle, get out of jail free card. Don't have to aim. I mean, what else is there? Her skill floor is so low. So low. Not to say that her skill ceiling is. And that's another thing too, guys. Before I let this go, when I'm saying their skill floor is low, that doesn't mean their skill ceiling is low. Moira takes, to play Moira in top 500 is, well, right now I think it's meta, but her positioning and stuff like that, her skill ceiling is still up there, but it's so easy to get instant value. You don't have to aim to heal people. You can heal your entire team just with a wave. It's just not even fair how much healing. Like, I really think that they should change. Her healing should remain the same if you're healing one person, but then when a second person comes in, it should absorb some of the healing that the first person was getting. And when a third person comes in, it should go by thirds, or get lessened but per person, because her ability to just fart on an entire team and heal everybody up at the same time is just unfair compared to the other healers, compared to Ana, who only heals the person that's closest to her. So, anyways, let's take a look here and see. Now that I made this diva change, I think that I like what I'm seeing here. Hanzo Mauga. Yeah, I think I'm liking this. And the moral of the story of this entire thing, because I think I'm going to close it up here because I like what I'm seeing here, but the moral of the story, if you look at this, these are the simple characters. These are the ones that don't take a lot of practice, a lot of skill. You kind of pick them up, you play a couple games, you're like, okay, I know how this works. And now obviously like Lucio is one of those characters that he has a low skill floor. You can get value very quickly, very easily with not too much practice. But his skill ceiling is probably one of the highest. He, being able to get value out of Lucio in top 500 is very difficult. It is absolutely necessary. He's meta right now. It's absolutely necessary, but to be a top 500 Lucio is very difficult. Junkrat is one where he has a very low skill floor, and then I would say he has a very high skill ceiling because people learn how to mitigate your damage very quickly. Like literally in silver and gold, people start to figure out, they start to see your traps, they start to hear your concussive grenade, know you're going to drop in on them, they start to avoid the sight lines that you're spamming, so real quickly he starts to fall off. And if you want to stick with Junkrat, it gets harder and harder because people, and he doesn't 1v1 as well. If he's not getting the jump on somebody or spinning and boom and blowing them up instantly, tracers take him down, soldiers take him down. He does not have the spam, or I shouldn't say he does have the spam. He does not have the accurate damage that other DPS have. Ramatra, Kiriko. So yeah, everyone in this tier list besides, well, I should say Reinhardt and Junkrat. Besides Reinhardt and Junkrat, everyone on this tier list could climb you to top 500 all the way. And then as we get further down, it's the people that are more technical. Obviously this bottom tier especially. Doomfist, Junker Queen, Wrecking Ball, Genji, Widowmaker. These are people that you need 1,000 hours practice with. Sojourn is S tier in everybody else's list, but it's because of her being able to make somebody dead instantly with good aim. And I just don't think that her value is there in bronze if you're a bronze skill list character. Pharah, I wouldn't recommend playing. Just play Echo. Yeah. These two are kind of interchangeable. Which one do you want to play? And they're just kind of bullies. They just control an entire... Either you're completely wrecking and people are screaming that you're OP, or you're absolutely useless meatbag that's just feeding ult. These two are absolutely S tier in most of the games. So if you practice them and you get good with them, they can definitely carry you and stuff like that. It's just that if you are a support main, or if you've never played Overwatch before and you're picking the game up for the first time, don't pick these guys up right away. Don't play these two. Play this guy. Play this guy. Play this guy. Play these guys if you're just playing for the first time. So with all that being said, I love Flats. I love his videos, but he comes out with these tier lists, and the bronze people start screaming and saying they need a Zenyatta on their team. Guess what? Your supports are bronze. You don't want them on Zenyatta. Right? You don't want my 9-year-old son on Zenyatta. Stop telling people what to play, because they're picking the characters they know. And if you're in bronze, they probably don't know very many characters. Don't try to get people to switch. Anyways, my name is Master Nightshade. You guys have a good one.